Got it.
Got it.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. My name is Michele Dionne, and I am the creator and webmaster of SarniaRocks.com. Thank you so much for joining me today here on Zoom. I am very thrilled to be, what is it that I'm doing? I am reinvigorating SarniaRocks.com. You know, there hasn't been a lot to do with it, right? In the last couple of years as we've been shut down. You guys aren't even going to believe this. I'm coming up to my 20-year anniversary.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Isn't that awesome? And I can honestly say, Peter and Mark, I feel like you guys have been through a lot of the length of that 20 years with me, which is really cool, right? Over the years as seasoned musicians. So that's really exciting, right? So it was fitting to choose you guys, Painkiller Jane, as our November band of the month, which is absolutely awesome. So I'm thrilled to share that with you. And because of modern technology, we could really upgrade how we present that and do it in interview form, which is really cool. But you know, I didn't want to do it like the traditional old school boring, you know, interview style. I wanted to do it more personalized and be able to show the viewers of Sarnia Rocks and the awesome citizens of Lambton County the personalities that go with the band, right? You're much more than, you know, 4 people and 4 voices and 4 instruments. You're people with personalities and characters, if you will, right? And so I thought it'd be good if we could share that as well. So first of all, if I could throw it out to you to maybe just give us a brief little overview of the band, and one of you or all of you introduce yourselves, please.
I'm gonna start with this.
Go ahead, Mark.
Right there. That's what he is.
I'm Jamie Dufour, the drummer, so I am technically the leader of the band because I play.
I better write that down. Okay.
I get paid the most. No, I am Jamie Dufour. I am the drummer of Painkiller Jane. Been with the band as it is right now for what, 10 years? You said today, Pete?
Wow.
Time flies, but we're still having fun even after all the fun we've had the last couple of years. But definitely the longest I've ever played in a band, and hopefully we keep going.
Awesome.
For the record, he plays great bass guitar and acoustic guitar and a hell of a good singer. So he's well-rounded musician in our band.
Excellent.
I'm just the drummer.
Just the drummer.
I'm Mark Morin. I'm the bass player. I play acoustic guitar and sing. Like you said, January was our 10th anniversary, but it was COVID time, so we could barely celebrate it at all. Kind of sucked. But then in Painkiller Jane from the start, which is about 15 years, maybe 14 years, I'm not sure. And been in a band with Heather for one form or another for 17 years.
Wow.
So, and have been in a band with Jamie before that as well too. So, or in there somewhere. But Painkiller Jane has been around a long time, and we're very proud of that.
It's awesome.
My name's Heather Wellington. I am the singer. I sometimes get forced to play guitar, which I don't really like to do. I actually did start the band, so Jamie can, you know, say whatever he wants, but I'm the leader. We've been together for a long time, and I think the thing that's the best about it is that we've become great friends and family, and we just have the best time on stage. And I think that's what really attracts a lot of people to us, is because we're not up there because it's our job or because, you know, it's something that we're not like forced to do. It's something that we truly love doing, and we just have the best time together. And it's been over 10 years, and I don't see us going anywhere anytime soon. So we're looking forward to the next 10.
Awesome. Very good.
Same. I agree. Pete Michele here. Also 10th anniversary. That's amazing on us. It's good on us for going that long, and hopefully a lot longer. In joining this band, I recall this is actually a little secret for you, Mark.
Yeah.
I had a fondness for you even before you knew me, before I knew you. Now it's all videotape. Me and Sleewenhook went to go see you guys on the boat on the Duke the year before. And then I saw you going into Staples, probably part of your other business. And I had Tracy with me. I said, you know what? I'm going to be in that dude's band. She goes, well, who's that? I said, that's Mark. He's with Painkiller Jane. Well, sure enough, 10 years later.
But be honest, Pete, was it because of Mark or because of me?
It was Mark.
Clearly,
But then I fell in love with you once I met you. So there.
I figured you would have done that on the boat.
he's the nicest guy in rock and roll, Michelle. Jelly.
Every
So,
band needs a stalker. I get it.
I play guitar, sing, play acoustic, play the bass, and sometimes I try to sneak in behind and play the drums as well too. And
It's a wicked drummer.
I try. And what I like about our band is we bring multi-part harmonies, 3 parts for sure for those 3 guys, and then I try to join as best I can for a 4-part, which is just amazing. When we hit it well, and it's just such a good feeling when we get a song down. So
That's awesome. So awesome. And obviously your fans pick up on that because you have a great following, right? You really do. So
We really do.
you really do.
We have the best fans,
You really do.
the best
That's
fans.
right.
They're loyal, they're supportive, and they allow us to do what we do, and we wouldn't be able to do it without them. So it
And they're a
honestly
whole
means
bunch
the
of
world to
fun.
us.
Yeah.
What's
They come to
that?
see us, but they come to see each other as well. We have a great following and they love each other, and it's an event anytime we play, it seems.
That's awesome.
So as part of our 10th anniversary, Michelle, we are giving back, or we gave back to our fans and having a contest. And the contest for the winner, was to give a complete free concert, like a full 3 sets, lights, PA, everything of the venue of their choosing. But we recommend, doing a charity event of some sort. But the important part is giving back to the fans, because like Heather was saying, we have some fantastic friends and family that come out all the time, which is so cool to see and have and enjoy the evening with those folks that we gave back. And Mark, it was Mark's idea to do a contest on our 10th anniversary. That's a freaking great idea. So
Absolutely.
no swearing, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. That is a great idea. That is a great idea. And I do remember seeing that, and during COVID, it was tough for everybody. And so having those little flickers of light, if you will, for people to hold on to, so very important, right? And, on that note, Mark, if I can just call you out for a second and thank you on behalf of SarniaRocks and everybody else that tuned into your Tuesday night concerts. Those are really special. And there's a lot of people I'm connected with, because I'm a wellness coach for WW, formerly known as Weight Watchers. Yeah, I've been doing that for over 5 years, so I really work on Zoom now. But I was able to share that with a lot of my members who are very isolated and alone. And I don't know if you really realize the impact that you have and that you had on them. So shout out to you there. That was really a wonderful thing that you did that impacted a lot of people. So,
Appreciate that, Michelle.
Yeah,
I pat
absolutely.
myself on the back, my hands over there.
Yeah, that's that. That's good. Yeah. And I think you'll all probably agree during those times, it would have been tough for you guys to stay connected because you have that bonding and that passion. Like, how did you get through that?
It was tough. It was really tough. We didn't practice for 18 months.
Oh, my word.
We tried to do we definitely had a lot of video calls just to be able to see each other's faces.
Good.
At the beginning, it was just nobody knew what was going on. So it was just so great when we finally could be together again. But man, it just took forever.
We tried jamming over Zoom, Michelle. We tried this program and that program, and it just didn't work. It just wasn't.
No.
This wasn't the same. So we had, and then we came and played at the very end of it. And we had 2 practices before we played.
Oh,
We played Paradise Valley Campground was our first date back after that. And we
So
thought maybe
fun.
a ton of mistakes. But we I don't know, just history of doing it for so long kicked in and we were fine.
awesome.
Yeah, muscle memory, and it was just so good to be in front of an audience again. And they were so receptive because they hadn't seen a live, band or anything
Sure.
in 2 years or almost as well. And it was just great for everybody. Like, it was rejuvenating for your soul.
Yeah, well, and that's it, right? Because music is energy, right? And so when you're doing that energy exchange, it's so powerful. But you're right, it's not the same through technology. You need to be in everybody's circle or bubble, or
Yeah.
whatever the term is you would call that. So as you've come together and you've evolved, you've all come from different places, obviously. So growing up, to each of you, what bands influenced you? Did you all follow the same bands? Do you all come from different places? What does that look like?
Salt and pepper.
What was
Oh,
Heather's? What was Heather's, Pete?
Salt and pepper. What's
Yeah.
real good? No. It was
now it's in
Well,
my
my
head.
favorite band is probably Pearl Jam. But throughout the years you're influenced by what your parents listen to, you're influenced by what your friends listen to. I just love good music. I love good harmonies. And so I'm not really I don't have necessarily I like country, I like hard rock, I like, I like a multitude of different things, but it just has to speak to you. If the music speaks to you and it's an amazing song, then it doesn't matter who it's by,
Yep, absolutely. Mark, what about you?
I was thinking that's a non-answer. Come on, it's Salt and Pepper, Heather, and you know it.
Non-judgment
It's a lot of classic rock at the heart of it, like Stones and Queen, Beatles. Huge Beatles fan. But I was thinking about this as Heather saying it, and those are big famous bands have influenced us. But we're a local bar band, and I think back to bands that have been the best in the game over the years, and we still remember the 88s and Streets and things like that, and Scott Maneri and the Barn Burners, those guys playing 2.5-hour sets, and I think that has an influence on us.
Without taking a bathroom break. What the hell? How do you do that?
Work it in there
Literally,
somehow.
how do you do that?
Where it depends if you're committed.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, but I think
I have peed my pants on stage, and I am committed, I will say, but it depends. I don't know. My pants are too tight.
No, we've worked long and hard to get to this point where we're pretty well respected around the town, and that's a great place to be, and it's an envious place to be. And
Sure.
but I think there were a lot of bands there before we were, and there are others, like I say, right now too, that are on par. And I think it's nice to be here.
Yeah,
We put
awesome.
a lot of hours into this.
Yeah, absolutely. What about you, Jamie?
It's a great question. I'm a huge Beatles fan. I think Beatles, to me, they're the best rock and roll band of all time. But as far as bands that influenced me, I kind of think more of the bands that I grew up watching, which live, which probably the biggest influence for me would be Damn Straight, that Mark played in. If it wasn't for Mark, I would never have picked up my first guitar. Brian Cox, I would have never bought my first drum kit. Right.
I wouldn't be in a band if it wasn't for Mark either, to be honest, because I was singing karaoke and he asked if I was sang in a band and if I wanted to be in one. And I was like, yes, let's do this. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Watching Pete rip with Chalkline, all those things influence you as you're becoming a musician.
Hey, Peter, I still have my Chalkline World Tour t-shirt. I wore it to Niagara Falls once before COVID, and somebody stopped me and they're like, oh, who's that band? I'm like, you have no idea. They're so amazing. And I still have that shirt. Yes. I love it.
Pete, what world tour did you go on?
Our fictitious Inner Mind World Tour.
Can't tell you, Heather. You're not the super secret fan club.
Elite. Yeah. The elite.
That's right. You don't know the handshake.
Secret location in Watford.
That's right. Orange Springs. So Peter, what about you? What bands influenced you?
I'm pretty much, well, I am a guitar geek. And so
Mm.
growing up was all my guitar heroes like Jimmy Page, Eddie Van Halen, and Steve Vai, Joe Satriani. There are recent guys like Ian Thornley of Big Wreck. Oh my God, they're just monster players. And I look at them and you would think, man, I'm just going to hang up my guitar. But no, it inspires me to play more and to learn more. And that inspires me, no matter what band I've been in, is to get to that level of playing. And I'm still striving, and it's still a long journey, but boy, do I enjoy it. I really do. Just guitar playing alone, I can play for hours up in my garage, which I do.
You literally can't get Pete to stop playing guitar. Like, literally can't.
So let me add further. So it's an enjoyable hobby. And then when you get with a group of guys like these guys, and you play well, it's just that icing on the cake. It's such an amazing feeling. It really, really is an amazing feeling. So Jamie mentioned, I remember watching the Mugs. I didn't know Jamie, I can't remember if I knew then Jamie, but following the Mugs, which was Jamie's previous band, and they were great. So again, the material, that's the other part is what I like about our band is the material we pick. We pick such good material, in my opinion, that other bands like Off the Rocker as well too, Jamie, the other band you were in, picking good material, and we strive to do so, and we enjoy playing it, and our fans enjoy hearing it, which is great.
That's awesome. Very good. So either collectively or independently, what's your favorite song to play? Is it the same for all of you, or is it?
I think it evolves. It changes a lot. Depends on. I'd
probably have to say Fat Bottom Girls, maybe.
Yeah.
I like When Will I Be Loved too. I like the songs where, there's a lot of harmonies and it really showcases our strengths.
Yeah.
Both those two start from a cold start to Michelle, like that's bang right into the harmonies.
Okay. Yeah.
And you see the reaction from some of the audience when you do that, and you go into Fat Bottom Girls and you nail it, which we thankfully usually do. Yeah, that's the first thing that came to my mind was those two songs, Heather.
Yeah.
Like just for that reason.
Yeah.
What about you, James?
I agree. I like songs that we play where there's lots of harmony, and then also like musically challenging too, like a lot of the guitar stuff.
When we get into the Fleetwood Mac and stuff like that, where Michele gets to wail on the guitar. And,
I'm interested to hear what Pete's would be too, because his is probably be something like My Sharona or something, right?
Well, yeah, that or Superstition by
Stevie Wonder.
Yes, thank you. Senior
those songs that you think about, you hear them when you're driving in your car and you're like, man, it'd be really cool to try that and play it. And then you find that one where you're like, wow, we can do this. This is amazing. And those are the songs that stick with you for a long time and you just enjoy playing.
It's weird, Michelle. Some songs click and some don't. And they almost pick you in a sense. We pick 4 or 5 songs we want to work on, and 1 or 2 of them will just come completely naturally. And the other 3, no matter how hard we work, they just don't.
They're not going to work.
They just don't fit. They're not going to be as good as we want them to be.
Right. So it's being honest with yourself enough to know that if it's just not going to work, you just move on to the next one, right?
For sure.
I don't even think it's honesty. I think it's blatant.
Right.
It either works or it doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't even think
it really sucks because there's a song you really want to play.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
For sure. Yeah, totally makes sense. So now that you've had all this time together, and I know you've played in all sorts of different kinds of venues, including on the Duke, right? Like, so you've played on the water, you've played on land. I don't know if you've ever played in the air, but could you share, maybe not yet, share with me what your most memorable show was? So over all the years, and that could be a positive, a funny, a negative, it could be whatever that looks like for you. Because I bet you guys have some great stories.
Yeah.
This is a bunch.
Opening for the Trues, obviously, I think we would all agree was a highlight for us.
Yeah.
But I mean, my favorite yearly thing is always the Duke Cruise. It's just so much fun. I don't know what the water does to people or what it does to me, but it just is, the energy is crazy. It's so much fun. But I think probably one of my favorites too is when we traveled to a wedding that we did in Cambridge, and we just had an amazing road trip and played guitar along the way and took some fun photos and stuff, and it was just memorable.
Well, the thing is, we didn't know anyone there, so normally we know most of our fans, but they were so awesome. Like they were having fun. So, we had a blast, and it was just being able to just travel with, the three of these guys is just fun.
That's the thing. We all live in the same neighborhood, basically, in the same small area, and we drive gigs separately usually. So being able to travel someplace together is just a fairly unique experience. And we could do it for hours and hours on end.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Mine wasn't a place we played, but a few winters ago, we rented this hotel. We rented a few rooms. We wanted to find a place where we could set up our gear someplace and jam for a few days, largely undisturbed. And so what's the name of the town? It's just north of Goddard.
Port Albert.
So there's this old hotel, like old, this is not a Holiday Inn. This is just a small inn.
Right.
Port Albert Inn, right?
And we rented it, and we go in, and there's a guy sitting by a wood stove with his socks and underwear on, and long underwear, and that's where we set up, and we played there for the next 3 days. And people come in and think there's this big rock band in town or something like that. And it's just hilarious, hard to describe, but it's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's awesome. What about you, Peter?
The Trues one in particular, and I'll explain why, and it leads into the Port Albert one. And the Trues one, we play predominantly originals with a few covers. So Mark and Heather that started Painkiller Jane before Jamie and I, so they already cut a CD, and there is a CD out there. It's a Reverb Nation, by the way. You can go check it out there. So, which is awesome. So
or Spotify.
Or is it on Spotify? Great.
It is.
Who knew?
So the going to Port Albert, which was great because we jammed, but we also come up with more originals, which I hope someday maybe we could record. And we have played those live, the newer originals as well as the older originals, and they're a joy to play. So doing the Trues, I worked my ass off for a week. I said, man, we got to pull this off. And we did. We pulled it off. We played so well. And for me, that was a highlight. Another highlight, if you guys recall, is we played at the riding club, and there was a communication error, and we only had, I think, 4 people show up at the riding club.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so we said, okay, whatever you guys want, what do you want? So they would pick a song.
They pulled a table up about 6 feet from the stage. And,
Yeah, and we figured it out. So I would say most went okay. Some were awful train wrecks, but oh my God, that was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So I guess to show you that we can play for a large audience or small audience, they'll have fun.
that's awesome. Diversity is key, right? Absolutely.
Going with the flow is key.
Yeah, exactly, Heather. That's right. Going with the flow. And I think your fans definitely are picking up on that. So that is so awesome. So thank you so much for meeting me here today. Did you have anything else that you wanted to share before we part ways today about the upcoming year? I mean, we're getting into the winter season. How can we find you? Because I know you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the best place, is to go to Facebook, Painkiller Jane, and we have 1,300 friends on there now.
I saw that.
So that's where like people are posting videos, posting photos, stuff like that. And that's where when we were playing gigs are going to be posted.
Okay.
There are 4 Duke cruises that we have booked ourselves next year.
Ooh.
The Duke hasn't ran the last 2 years.
Right.
So a couple in June, one in August, one in September.
Okay.
And lately we've been finding that we're playing places that aren't necessarily open to the public. So like campgrounds and things like that, or private parties.
Excellent.
We played Twisted Arm a few weeks ago, and it was sold out 2 months in advance. But it was rare that we get to play for the public sometimes. But the Duke cruises, can't wait for them.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Me too. I need a good booze cruise. It's been
Hell
so
yeah.
Right.
long.
I
So
know.
if someone did want to book you, they can message you through your Facebook page or?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, thank you very much for meeting me today, and thank you for
I
sharing.
do
your
have a
thoughts.
question for you, Michelle. Sorry to
Oh,
interrupt you, but I want
sure.
to, like, I think this is amazing and what you're doing to revitalize, you
Thank
know, the
you.
local bands and things like that. Like, I'm sure that I'm not the only grateful person out there that, but what makes you invest in this?
Because it takes a lot of time.
It, you know, it really does, and I've been reminded of that in the last few days, actually. I think for me, it's part of me giving back to community, which is a personal thing. So I think, like, you know, I'm going to tell you, when I first started SarniaRocks, it was because people were coming to big concerts in Sarnia and only seeing the big concert and leaving. And I really felt like it was a crying shame that they were down the street from ups and downs and not
Right.
popping in there and seeing the band. And then
Yeah.
if they had a bad experience at said concerts, it left a bad reflection on our town, right? So, and actually once upon a time, I worked at the Canterbury Hotel, and Sarnia Lambton Tourism, they picked 2 people from every single hotel to go on a bus trip all around Lambton County to find out what we had to offer. I
Cool.
learned so much about Lambton County. I didn't know we had a tree maze. I didn't know we had all sorts of things in like Oil Springs and Oil City and in Lambton County as a whole. I didn't know we had a recycled museum by Stokes by the Bay once upon a time, and those great big long buildings. I learned all these things. And then I went to some of these big concerts and I heard tourists complain about our town. And I was like, I call bullshit. There's so much good. Shouldn't say that on this. But anyways, there's so many good things going on. And so that
Right.
inspired me to start the site. And then it grew. And then I got into doing the videos and the meeting the bands and doing the stuff and giving back. And it just turned into like this big thing that I absolutely loved. And so now after COVID, and I've been working from home since March 2020. So now tapping back into it has re-energized me, and it ties right in with my, like, I'm not religious, but I personal tithing is important to me. So for me, I can give back, I can support the community, and it's just like just the energy I feel even talking to you about it. I'm so passionate about it. And then when I realized, holy shit, 20 years, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I remember, Michelle, like, and back when you started, a lot there, you know, social media wasn't huge, and it was really tough to know who was playing where. A lot of these venues, you know, unless they had a marquee, you saw it. But no, I remember always going on SarniaRocks. Okay, what are we doing? Who's where?
Who's playing where?
Yeah.
And Michelle, and we all know this, all musicians know this anyway, but lay people will say, you know, that there isn't much talent or venues in Sarnia and Wellington, and they're completely wrong. There's a ton of talent. There are a lot of venues. We're very fortunate around here. You know, the places you can think of that there are open jams to go to right now, and just one 2-piece acts or bands playing regularly. We're very, very lucky.
Absolutely. You're so right. And Jamie, you nailed it, because when I first started it, I'd have different people that, you know, I'd interact with, and whether it was like a delivery guy where I worked or whatever, and they'd be like, you know, you saved me driving by every single pub in town reading the billboard. And I'd be like, well, there you go. And back then, like boomerangs, because like I'd sell advertising too, right? So I had like boomerangs and puck around and all the bars and and then, you know, the videos and just great people, like local musicians, I tell you, you know, and then doing different community things too. Like, you know, there's lots of fundraisers I got to be a part of, and because I knew the bands, and so that was feel good things, right? More real good feel good things, and wherever we can help somebody, you know, that's just so very important. It really is.
Awesome.
And I also
Question.
think that, you know, Sarnia Lambton, as much as some people may not see what we have to offer, I think one thing that is very vital here is that we do have a lot of amazing local talent. And we thank you for sharing and spreading a spotlight on that for sure.
Well, thanks very much. That you've warmed my heart. Thank you so much. That's very awesome. Very awesome. So again, thank you so much for joining me today. And congratulations on being November's Band of the Month. That's so awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.